I want to talk a bit about 9/11. Today marks the 70th, the 20th anniversary of 9/11, the September 11 attacks, whatever you want to call it, which was, of course, on September 11th, 2001. Two planes crashed into the World Trade Center in New York City, colloquially known as the Twin Towers. In addition, a plane hit into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and I believe a plane a plane crashed in a field in, I think, Pennsylvania. That plane, I don't think we know where it was going to. It likely was going to fly into something like the White House. But and that plane was actually retaken by the passengers, and it crashed into a field. So, I just want to give my views on 9/11 after all it is 20 years. I was not alive during 9/11. I was literally just a fetus in my mother's womb. At that time, I was not born until December 6th. But I wanted to give my thoughts on this. It's even interesting now that our longest war, the Afghanistan war, is now over. In fact, the first anniversary of 9/11 where the war is over. Okay, so this is my view from studying history and such, and just learning. I believe 9/11 was a failure. Was it not a failure? It was a result of U.S. foreign policy. Let me give you a story. In the 70s, the Soviet Union invaded in 1970s, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan. There was a group there, a jihadist group known as the Mujahideen. The Mujahideen were a radical, I believe they were radical Islamic group, and the U.S., since the Mujahideen were fighting against the Soviet Union, were like, okay, we like these guys. We're going to train you. We're going to fund you, whatever. Even some members of the Mujahideen came to the White House. You can find pictures of Ronald Reagan meeting with the Mujahideen. And these men were labeled as the brave freedom fighters fighting for Afghanistan. Of course, Soviet Union later leaves Afghanistan. And we're just sort of left there with what happens is the U.S. is kind of just chilling in Afghanistan now, and the Mujahideen are there. And since the Soviet Union's gone, the only dominant geopolitical force there is the U.S., is America. So, what ends up happening is that who are they going to fight against if not America? America is the only dominant geopolitical force there. It's actually funny. First it was the Soviet Union, then it was America. In 20 years, China will probably take a crack at Afghanistan. Graveyard of empires. It's Afghanistan. Okay. China. Okay. The U.S. was the only dominant geopolitical force. But we trained these Mujahideen soldiers, right? Do you know what the Mujahideen would later go on to become? Members of it? They would later go on to become members of a group, or I believe they even form a group called Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda, of course, being the jihadist group that did 9/11. So, because of this, I really see 9/11 as a direct result of U.S. foreign policy. There's also just so much ridiculous shit about 9/11 and even the Afghanistan war. It's like, okay, Many of the nationalities of the people who were in 9/11 were Saudi. They're from Saudi Arabia. We didn't take any action against Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is one of the U.S.'s closest allies. I mean, personally, I do not like Saudi Arabia at all. I think I should say, I'm not talking about Saudi Arabians, of course. I'm talking about the Saudi government, the Saudi royal family, who I'm not a fan of at all. But we didn't take any action in Saudi Arabia. We invaded Afghanistan. Saudi Arabia is one of our closest allies. Why would we take any action against them? Another example, Osama bin Laden, this was the main goal. Oh, that's why we worked. That's why we invaded Afghanistan. That's why we invaded Iraq. We had Osama bin Laden, right? Okay. What happened when we killed Osama bin Laden? Because we, of course, did kill him eventually. Where was he killed? What country was he killed in? Was in Afghanistan. He was killed in Pakistan. Pakistan, not Afghanistan. Pakistan. I'm glad. I'm gonna say personally, I'm glad we're out of Afghanistan finally. I think. No reason for us to being in Afghanistan. I think we're in there mostly because of military-industrial conflicts, but I mean, the pullout from Afghanistan was awful. Like, it was a complete shit show, but that was inevitable. People say, "Oh, it's Biden's fault." All it's it just would have happened with Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden, whoever. It would have happened. It was an inevitability. Just disgusting. Anyway. Alright, so okay. So my views essentially are on 9/11 that it is a direct. Now, did 9/11 deserve to happen? No, not at all. I mean, fucking innocent civilians never deserve to die. I'm very personally quite anti-war. I don't think innocent civilians should ever have to die for the actions of their country. But I do think that 9/11 was a result of U.S. foreign policy and the effects that it had. U.S. foreign policy and U.S. foreign policy decisions in the Middle East. I think that 9/11, fortunately, was a result of that. And that is how I feel from looking at the history of things. I could always talk about for 9/11, or rather the Afghanistan war at the time and the whole thing with that. But this was supposed to mainly be about 9/11, and that's my views on the subject, since it is the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And with that, that's all I have to say. I hope you have a good day. Bye.